I did it. Alright, my friends, final stretch. We have days left until 2026. By the time you're watching this, I'm filming this in advance. And instead of giving up and just, throwing in the towel completely and being like, you know what, my 2026 self is gonna deal with that. It's gonna deal with anything. I'm just chilling. Instead of doing that, we are squeezing in last little bit of momentum, a last little bit of organization, of sorting our mental space, our emotional space, whatever you need. If anything, just to get our heads and ourself in a good tone, sorted before the next year commences. I'm not talking about anything crazy. I know there's not a lot that truly can be changed and done in just a couple or a few days, but we're checking in, we're reviewing. If we're in a funk, we're just getting ourselves a little bit out of that funk. Today I'm updating you and taking you through my personal curriculum that I set for myself back in September, because yes, I literally made myself a back to school customized syllabus. I set myself some goals and things that I wanted to learn and get better at. I had 3 classes, which I'll explain in a little bit. Doing a quick overview check-in of 2025 goals. I don't want to dive in too deep into that one, at least in this video, but I do want to see where we're at. Think of today as a very no pressure but still helpful, setting the tone for 2026. I'm also updating you on my savings plans for next year. Yeah, I'm just bringing you along the behind the scenes of trying to do little things here and there that make me feel more put together, make me believe, however delusional it is, that I'm actually a little bit more in control of my life. Working and prepping for my annual leave for the holidays that are coming up because I'm traveling, so travel prep as well. We have a little bit of everything in today's vlog, which is just how this month goes. Let's just do our best, To do a quick check-in of the curriculum that I mentioned at the beginning. If you haven't watched that video, I'm just gonna catch you up real quick. I set myself up 3 credits or 3 courses, classes, things that I was interested in either learning more, improving my skills on, ways that I would go about them, which I'm gonna briefly explain. And there were assignments or almost like milestones that I wanted to reach by this point, so by the end of the semester. I'm gonna roll the clips of that in a little bit. At the beginning of this year, I knew that I wanted to improve my storytelling, my communication skills. I signed myself up late last year to this online class that was on magical storytelling. This was really easy and straightforward because it's just, you need to finish the online class. That's it. That's your assignment. That's everything that you need to do. I finished it. I took so many notes, and they also give you a PDF with the transcript and all the notes so you can come back to it. 1 done and 2 to go. I told you guys that I wanted to stick to my budget and read The Psychology of Money. Very beginner friendly, which is exactly what I need. However, I've been super busy. Next couple of days are gonna be the least busy ones until 2026. I just have a lot going on for both work and personal reasons. I am not 100% sure that I'm gonna be able to actually read for myself right now the book. I stumbled the other day on this YouTube video that is about this book, and apparently it's like the book broken down in like 30 minutes. So, I know it's a little like cheating. I do want to read the book. I am gonna buy it for myself and read it. The whole point of this is to learn something new, improve at something. You don't want to stress yourself out, So this is what's realistic for me right now. Watch that and finish my digital class and then that will bring us closer to actually closing the curriculum for this year. I want to become more financially literate. Most of us probably weren't taught that much in school. I know I wasn't. You know, about like investing, high yield savings account, pension, and things like that. That just sounds so daunting, but actually can be a little easier than they sound. I have started to find very helpful down the line of your life. Actually taking, you know, your money matters into your own hands. Guys, I'm done. It's definitely gotten darker, but I have a second one ticked off and done. The other thing in this category was to stick to my budget. We're gonna check back in at the end of December, but I can already say I might be flopping on that one. Let's just count our wins today, okay? So this video, I thought it was really useful. I wrote down, it gave you, I think, 17, 18 traps, like money traps, mindset traps, and behavior traps when it comes to money, which I think is really useful, like for me to keep in mind. I've been watching a lot of interviews from people that work in finance. The author of this book, Morgan Housel, I watched his interview with Stephen Bartlett, and obviously like he gives out a lot of advice. Well, I think the video is really helpful, and if you're short on time like me but want to make some sort of progress when it comes to financial literacy, I think this is a great starting point, but I do think I could benefit with just like diving a little bit deeper into. This is very much like a top line of the advice. Anyways, but I thought I would share with you some of the key things that I learned from this in case you care. If you don't care, I will put a timestamp here. Alright, one of the top things that stuck with me, here's what I'm a little unclear about, and that's why I still want to read the book. Your money habits and your mindset when it comes to money not being completely logical. And we make the mistake, we, like all of us, of assuming that it's gonna be logical, that even if you have a budget, like I have, clear financial plan that is optimized, you use a spreadsheet, everything is ready to go, like everything's really smart and strategic. We often forget that we're not a spreadsheet ourselves, that we're human, and we might be led by impulses. There are so many other factors, both outside of ourselves, but also within ourselves, because we're emotional human beings. So it's good to have almost like contingency plans when it comes to your money plan. So I think the way that they said it on the video was like, make a plan for your plan, not go into plan, if that makes sense. But anyways, that's the part where I want to read the book, and I just want to see more of what Morgan Housel has to say. One quote that stuck with me, it wasn't by Morgan Housel, it was just mentioned in the video. I wonder if it's mentioned in the book. It is impossible to overcome envy by means of success. And this just means, you know, when you get like a promotion, or when you start doing well, or when you want to portray like you're doing well to other people, and you just try to like get new things, buy new things, appear like you're doing better. The next person comes and they have something better than you, and you start feeling envy, and you start raising the ceiling for yourself, and the ceiling is actually never there, and you never reach it, and you continue to pursue and pursue more and more things to make yourself feel better about the level of success that you're portraying. Envy and comparison is never gonna be fixed by material success. The highest gift that money can actually buy you is time. So whenever you're buying something, you're selling your time. The time that it took you to get that money, to earn that money, and then to spend it and give it to someone else. And also in a separate sense, it can also buy you freedom. The freedom to, if you lose your job, choose which job to go for, not be desperate for a job if you have enough savings. You have an emergency, not needing to rely on like credit card debt, or asking for money, or not being able to get that treatment or something like that, being a really stressful and stuck situation because you don't have the means to pay for it. That's actually the biggest asset that money can give you. I still want to read the book. I am planning on buying it for January, for the beginning of next year. I really, you know, that's part of setting the tone for me. I want to buy that book for the beginning of next year and really start next year on a good financial knowledge baseline. I did get some great takeaways from the video and the interview. I have kind of half and half stuck to my budget since I made that video. Yeah, I wasn't great, I'm not gonna lie. I was emotional and impulsive with a few of the purchases and decisions that I made. It's okay, it's fine. We are setting ourselves back on track. If it was a class, I would have failed. Finally, the last class that I set for myself was, I called it Intro to the Law of Detachment. If you don't know what the Law of Detachment is, I will put a brief explanation here on the screen. I'm gonna keep it real quick. The main goal that I had from this class, like the test, if you will, was for me to be able to do 30 minutes of meditation, fully present, and release any mental to-do list, any thoughts of the past, of the future, just be present. And I also, so for that, I wanted to do daily meditations and read this book. This is a class, I'm gonna tell you right now, I flopped as well. I flopped because on one hand, I don't go about this lightly. I really don't like this book. It's in Spanish, so like you might not be able to understand it. It's basically a book on like chakras. I started to read it. I got to page 32. I don't like the way this book is written. I'm a native Spanish speaker. Like Spanish is my mother tongue. Don't understand why this book is written in such a clunky and combobulated way. Sorry. I just feel like Spanish is such a beautiful language. And maybe it's just that all spiritual, like energy related books are written like this. This is the first one that I have read. Maybe I just don't like learning about energy like this in written form. I will try other books later down the line. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna read this. There are so many great books out there in the world. This is my mentality always when it comes to books. I'm not gonna spend my time reading books that physically, I get a physical reaction out of them. There are so many other books that might align better with my preference. So I don't feel bad for this. I will find another book. Maybe just go to a library, a bookshop, try to find other books and see if I actually do click with the writing style and how the information is given on those books. I want to say I did meditate frequently. I didn't meditate every day, and I recognize I am still struggling to meditate. And I've been meditating not 30 minutes, I've been meditating 8 minutes whenever I do meditate, and I'm struggling a lot. Like my mind just feel like it's racing a mile a minute. I have noticed some like improvements on my level of detachment, loosening up my grip when things get out of my control. Yeah, I have noticed a shift. I honestly don't know if I would attribute it to my sporadic meditations. Definitely not to this book because I barely read it. So that's a curious one. That's a strange one. This was a flop. This was a flop. This year challenged me a lot with uncertainty, with adapting to changing circumstances and not knowing what might come of them. Being in a little bit of a limbo space. I'm very set on like setting goals for myself, on trying to remain disciplined. There's so many different things that just happened outside of my control this year and that just were taking longer, for instance, than I would have wanted it to. To wrap up this year, I wanted to fully embrace putting in my heart and my soul and effort into the things that I want to make happen, but then just letting them go. There's only so much that you can control when it comes to certain goals. So this was a way of helping me learn new tools and ways of how to manage uncertain situations. Now let's just do a bird's eye view of the year. So I think this is particularly important for us to do. Overview and sense of what this year was like for you. If you were asking too much of yourself or maybe too little, honestly, you have put yourself a little bit in the back burner, because I find that when we procrastinate things that are important to us, that truly are important to us, sometimes we're prioritizing the wrong things then in our lives. I had three main categories for my goals this year: lifestyle, career, and finances. For lifestyle, speaking of the devil, mastering law of detachment. You know what? It's good that I knew starting out this year that was something that I needed to work on. My past self knew this, my present self knows this, hopefully my future self knows how to deal with it. To be honest, I wouldn't say I'm a master at it. I mean, you saw I didn't really finish the book, I just spoke about this. But I have noticed a big difference how I handle hiccups and obstacles, especially later on in the year. Say I'm a master at law of detachment. I don't know why I worded it like that. The next one in lifestyle was soft abs and definition. Now, this is very much a vanity goal. I just wanted the 2 lines. I just wanted that because I've never had that. I have been on this whole like health journey, has to do with like hormones and health issues that I wanted to stabilize and improve. And I figured, you know what, it might be a good goal to like have this. I had written down a weight that I wanted to reach, and this again has to do with hormone thing. It was done with doctor, nutritionist, it was all done healthily. slowly. I also wanted to increase my workout schedule progressively and strengthen my core. I did all of this. I will say this was a success. Not have like a six-pack by any means. I do see it brewing, you know, my core has improved a lot. I have surprised myself in my last like workout classes. I'm actually super proud of myself for that. I'm gonna say I achieved this because the whole point was to strive for this so that the underlying issues that I was dealing with would improve, and they have. Actually, that's the thing that makes me the happiest. So even if I don't have those, like the six-pack, I'm very proud of myself on this one. So I'm just gonna tick it off. Quick roundup. Career. Not gonna lie to you, I wanted to be monetized on YouTube. I wanted to connect with as many people as I could, reach as many people as I can, and just share common interests, common topics, be monetized. I think like that's a valid milestone for a lot of YouTube creators. To achieve this, I had posting every Sunday, improving my videos every week, utilizing cross like social media promo, and engaging with my community and analyzing stats to adapt. Did all of this. I am so proud of myself this year, honestly, for sticking to this. It wasn't easy a lot of the times. This isn't a goal I can tick off because I'm not monetized. That's a little outside of my control. I mean, in parts it is, in parts it isn't. But I did do all of these bullet points. So even though I can't cross being monetized on YouTube off, I can happily wrap up this year on this aspect and say that I truly gave it my best. I'm actually super proud of the community that we have built, little growing community that we have built, how much my skills have improved. I've learned so much about editing. I've just found a new passion. I mean, it was a happy outcome even if I didn't achieve it. The next one had to do with my 9-to-5 job. This was expand in my current role. Getting a promotion. I did get this promotion, had a lot more responsibilities. It's part of why I've been, like if you've watched some of my other videos, I've been very busy. I want to say I also feel like I have grown a lot more confident. The next one I didn't do. This next one is about a separate project, completely separate to YouTube, to my 9-to-5 job. I have alluded to it in other videos that I'm working on a separate like big thing. I haven't talked more about it because I told you guys that I was gonna give more information and bring you along the journey as I develop it more. I haven't. I've honestly just put it in the back burner a little bit, even though I'm not mad at myself for putting it on the back burner this year, because I honestly feel like I had too much on. It's at the top of my priorities for next year. That's gonna come down to my actual like vision board planning, which will be a separate video, goal setting, and when I set out, I have the 2026 version of this diary. This is the productivity method, by the way, not sponsored at all. This just saved my life this year. The new planners came out for 2026. If you're watching this, hopefully they aren't sold out. If you're also like a planner geek and you have many things, like busy life, many things going on in your life, you need this. Either like the annual or the daily planners. I'm more of an annual girly. My Bible this year. Sorry that I'm going on a tangent here, but organizing my like tasks, to-dos, responsibilities has really helped me forward on all of this in one way or another. Honestly, I'm not surprised at what I'm reviewing with you because all of it has been documented here. Like the big project thing that I haven't been able to move forward to, it has been written down in all of these pages. It just hasn't been crossed off, and I'm aware I'm not crossing it off. Anyways, all this to say, I have the 2026 version coming in tomorrow. So maybe I'll include it in this video. I'll give you a quick snapshot because it's in leather. Finally, the review part is almost over. Finances. Two things here. I wanted to pay off my student loans completely. So happy with myself, honestly, for starting this and sticking to my plan as much as I could. I did it. I did it. Put on like a clip of when I actually made the last payment. Honestly, I've just kept it to myself this past few months, but I want to share it with you guys. I don't think I've told this to anyone else other than like two close friends, my boyfriend who I live with. This was huge for me this year. If you're on this journey, you got this. I believe in yourself. If you want me to like share a little bit more on how I did it and all of this, let me know. I'm not gonna bore you all right now if you're not interested, but if you do want to know, I can definitely include it in a separate video. With that in mind, my other finance goal was to stick to my budget. To an extent I did it. It's the main reason why I managed to pay off my loan. However, it's been a little bit of a struggle, I'm not gonna lie, to stick to my budget. I was on this really tight budget for so long. A part of myself, and this part of the emotional side that I mentioned on the curriculum segment, really just wanted to feel a little like just wanted to enjoy my money a little bit, like for a little while. I haven't given myself leeway to enjoy what I earned since I started being like a full-time employee. Since I paid it off, I haven't stuck to my budget as closely as I wanted to, but I'm also not giving myself too much of a hard time on this one. I am going back to my budget. I am promising you guys, you need to hold me accountable. I am going back to my budget. We are back on track, baby. We are back on track. We slipped there for a minute. So that's where we're at with our goals. Actually the next day. We have reviewed, we have checked in on our goals and the curriculum. Now I want to look ahead on the next year. Try and roughly set the tone and the vibes that I want for next year for a couple things that are priority for me coming up next year. I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but I'm not setting concrete goals just now. There will be a separate video for that in which I'll give you advice, tips, we can do a vision board, all of that. That prep and that manifesting, if you will, I actually do in the spring equinox. I like to move with nature's seasons. Yeah, I don't know, it's just how I enjoy it the most. It's a time that nature is starting to bloom and it's very, yeah, I just like to move the earth's energy, if you will. So right now in winter, everything is dormant and stagnant. So it's a great time to actually be introspective and reflect. If you also want to do it that way, it's a great time to check in actually. It's still a new year, we are changing calendars, so I still want to set the tone, I still want to set a general intention. So there are a couple things that I do want to prioritize and I do want to embody starting now, honestly. First things first is YouTube. YouTube has become such an important thing to me. I love the little tiny community that I'm building here and I've been enjoying it just so much, and I definitely want to grow it. I want to connect with more of you. Right now for YouTube is not to set specific goals on like metrics or, you know, monetization or even brand deals or things like that. The main thing that I want to focus, at least for now, in the next few months is how I'm showing up, practicing the craft, if you will, how I'm coming across as well. Basically what I did is just write down some pillars on which I want my content, my energy to come across when I'm posting videos on YouTube. And this will serve as little reminders for me on what actually matters when I'm creating content or thinking for ideas for content, and actually help me refocus, remember what is actually important for me. And I honestly think none of these have to do with making money or things like that. First of all, I want to have fun. I have been having fun, but you know, there were some months where I think I started to take it a little too seriously, a little too personally as well. Remember that I want to have fun, and the times that I have fun with YouTube are honestly the videos that not only I enjoy the most, but I think you guys also enjoy the most, because my creativity just flows. If you're in a state of fun, everything around you becomes fun. Everything emanates fun. I also want to focus heavily on community. I want to focus on you guys, on connecting, on engaging, on checking in and seeing what you actually want to see from me, what you're enjoying. And tied to that, this is the only like hard or more like business hat pillar that I have in here. I do want to become a stats expert. So I want to become really familiar and know my stats almost like the palm of my hand through, and I want to understand them. Not in the sense of getting too hooked up on views or metrics or numbers, but I do want to become really savvy when it comes to understanding stats and how everything works. Other than that, I want to just remain and continue to be as authentic as I can, even if it means that I'm feeling a little bit down and I just share with you guys what's going on. I do think I have remained authentic throughout this entire year, which I'm actually super proud of, because that was, if you saw on the previous part, that was like this year's theme, authenticity. And I think I have tried to remind myself of that as often as I can, to not like betray myself, try and like fit in or things like that, and just, you know, be authentic and be genuine to myself. And that's honestly all I want my channel to be as well. So that's one of the two things that I wanted to set the tone for in this portion of the video. I created this little thermometer, make it a little bit more fun to start my savings journey, because that's the next thing that I want to prioritize other than you guys, my savings and my peace of mind when it comes to my finances. I made this cute little thermometer here, which, you know, I've seen people use at like, I don't know, fundraising events and things like that, so I figured why not do it for myself, you know, it's like a personal fundraiser. I put in money for myself. Just as a quick explainer, goal here is 6 months. What I want to do with my savings at this stage is build myself an emergency fund, a pot of money, ideally for me in a high yield savings account, which is exactly what I'm doing. An account that gives you a percentage, like an little interest rate, so it helps you combat a little bit like inflation depending on the rate and all of that. I'm no financial advisor, so you do your own research as well. So an emergency fund is basically a fund, a pot of money that you save for yourself in case you lose a job, you need to get an operation, you get into a car accident, you need to replace some. No, it's an emergency fund. It's just when something unexpected happens and it costs money that you don't just readily have at hand. Well, the emergency fund helps you have it readily at hand. The advice that I have seen and that I'm following, the best way to go about it is to work out how much you spend in a month. What's the number that would cover everything, all your expenses, like house, food, bills, tax, everything that would have you set up for 1 month of living your life as you do today. So I worked out that amount for myself, and then what I did is my goal is to have 6 months, so half a year of my living expenses covered. Obviously, like whatever you start saving, it's gonna be so much better than no savings at all. So you can start wherever. We go little by little, so every bar here is a different month. So the first milestone would be 1 month, and then we move on to the second, third, fourth, fifth, and then sixth. That's honestly it. That's all I have for setting the tone in terms of finances. That's gonna be my focus up next. Let me position myself a little better for you guys. This is the reality of the behind the scenes of trying to get my life as much together as I can. First things first, it arrived. It arrived, you guys. I'm so happy. I'm so sorry for this shot, this desk. It's a mess. Given up completely on organizing it. It is a mess. I am bringing on to 2026 and I'm okay with it. I am completely okay with it. This is my 2025 diaries older sister 2026 diary that just came in from the productivity method. If you haven't heard of the productivity method, what are you doing? I mean, you're watching this video. This is not a sponsor, by the way, at all. This is my second planner from Grace Beverly and her like company, the productivity method. But I owe my life this year almost, and like me actually completing everything that I wanted to complete, or most of it. This helps really like get your life together. If you didn't know about them and you check them out, I hope they're still in stock because they sell out really quickly. But yeah, so I literally bought this in like the early access. I could not risk not getting that. But if you've watched any of my videos, you already know I start basically every Monday of every week this past year filling this out and planning out almost to the T every single day of my life. I'm sat at this desk. I'm gonna start merging some of what I've written down here because I've planned so far ahead that I'm actually already planned up until like mid-Jan. I want to move it to here. I wanted to bring you along on real-time decision making for a few things. Well, for one thing, and that is I've decided for the first time since I started my YouTube channel, I'm not gonna upload 1 week of December. Like, I'm gonna skip 1 week. I upload every Sunday. I'm not gonna upload the weekend before Christmas. Planned it all out here. Here, you'll see all the days up until the 11th of January. We're all planned out, and I'm gonna do most of this. I just got to reflecting after speaking with you guys yesterday how I wanted to set the tone and how I wanted to approach my content. I spoke about that yesterday, which for you was like a second ago, and something about this video just didn't feel right. It was gonna be another reading vlog, which I love, but for a while I've been feeling like they're missing something, and one of those is that I'm usually rushing through them. I do them as challenges and things like that. I don't want to be a broken record, but I do have quite a few things going on, and those type of videos, it's not only filming the videos, but it's actually reading the books, and that just means that I need to rush through the books and rush through editing and rush through planning it out. Those are videos that take longer to film because I'm reading real time with you guys. I want to switch up the formula for them. I don't want to stop doing them, but I do want to make them better. I want to make them more creative and more engaging and a little bit different, less repetitive. I feel like they just got repetitive. I was trying to make it different for that weekend in December that I've decided that I'm not gonna do it and I'm not gonna upload it. I just honestly won't have the time. I'm seeing my family for the first time for Christmas for the first time in 4 years. I just don't want to be holed up all the time just to get that one video up that is already feeling like it's not gonna come out the way that I want it. Figuring as it's the weekend before Christmas and I really do wanna prioritize quality for all of you, I've decided to not upload that weekend. And I know it might sound like such a tiny thing to you, and like I just keep yapping about YouTube, and I'm sorry, I promise I'm stopping and we're just setting up these in a second, but it's actually such a big deal to me. Like for me it was a commitment to like upload every single week, and to miss 1 week felt like a monumental decision because I'm like compromised. I'm committed to you guys, I'm really committed, but I think it's just gonna be for the best. It's gonna allow me to get some proper rest as well during the holidays. It's the only weekend I won't upload. I will be uploading all the other weekends. Like, with that in mind and with that being said, you're gonna see this video after the weekend that I didn't upload has passed already, so it's actually a very sunny morning. I'm about to log into work in just a little bit. But first of all, we've had our morning walk. Today, it was so crispy sunny. I loved it, and it reminded me, if you're not on your vitamin D game and you're also on this side of the world that winter and the darker days and lack of sunlight and vitamin D is upon us, take your vitamins. I've only just started this one. I've taken supplements from this brand before and I really like it. I take daily their magnesium to go to sleep. I've been liking it, but I just started this one, so I have no idea how they are. I mean, I imagine they're good. Part of getting ourselves ready for the next year, I mean, winter is gonna be with us for a while. Better get that sorted. I need to get to work now. Also, guys, I have so many workout classes booked for this week because I'm squishing them all in before I go. Why do I have a green thread? I'm squishing all my workout classes in before I go traveling and before the year ends. I don't want to waste my membership and my classes, so I literally have 7 workout classes booked this week. Did I go a little insane? Maybe. Am I gonna be sore AF on that plane back home? Yes, I will. And that'll be fun. It's an 11-hour flight. Anyways, so today we have yoga. Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow we have bar. Thursday we have Pilates. And then Saturday and Sunday I have back-to-back classes. I have Pilates and yoga. And then I have one final class next week on a Tuesday before I travel on Wednesday. We need to get our rest. We need to get our vitamins. That's why, because my body needs to be ready to withstand the amount of exercise I'm gonna put it through. Let's get to work. I don't know if you're also on like Journal Talk, Journal Instagram, Traveler's Journal, Louise Carmen, Paper Republic, all that shebang. I've been diving deep into that world. It's basically these like really beautiful, as you can see, but this is from Etsy, a much cheaper but still stunning version of the Louis Carmen Paper Republic leather journals. Those are two very established, well-known brands that everyone's raving about basically. And I got influenced too because I've been really on my journaling kick this year. I just love the idea of having this many journals with me at any given time and have them for like different purposes basically. I haven't finished fully setting it up and personalizing it. I still want to show it to you guys. TikTok and Instagram got the first sneak peek, but you are getting the first walkthrough. Let's open it up. I got this from Etsy. The seller was so lovely and she allowed me to I fully personalized it. Like I chose the charms here, the color of the ribbon. Let me walk you through my journal just real quick. But also these. I am not ready yet for the fountain pen world. So I decided to just go with regular, you know, gel point pens. I love how these write. This is the Jetstream Uniball pen. This is so smooth. And these two are Energel Pentel pens. I just love the color of these. This is like a burgundy. It's truly a burgundy. It's not like the bright red of your usual pen, which matches with the journal perfectly. And this is a brown. I've never had a brown pen. It's a dark brown pen. So the first journal here is really tiny. It doesn't have a lot of pages, but it came in a 3-pack. So I have 2 more of these to like continue sucking it up. Creative writing, free flow. If I want to write like a little bit of poetry, maybe something like that. It's gonna be very much short stories, creative writing. I really wanted to get more into creative writing in the next year, so that's what this is for. It has lined pages on one side and then blank pages on the other. I think that's how you call it, Hobonichi notebooks. There's this very beautiful, very well known, like well recognized Japanese brand of stationery, of books. I think they might also have pens and stickers and random things like that. So I got this. This is the A5 graph notebook. You have the little squares. And I use this for research and just, you know, if I'm listening to a podcast or if I want to go down a rabbit hole of a particular topic, this is gonna be my go-to book for that. And I want to start annotating books as well. So this is gonna be basically my very nerdy book. This leather bound journal only has the strings to attach 4 notebooks. So I decided to buy this little cover and use this plastic cover as almost like a pocket. I've seen a lot of people do that. That way I can add random bits and bobs and make it even more personal. So for instance, I have this postcard, which is a love letter actually, and then you just have the full-on notebook. And at the end, I use the other side of the plastic wrap to attach this moleskin thin notebook. It's similar to the first one that I showed you in its like thickness, and it also came in a 3-pack. I've personalized it a little bit with this cute like stamp-like sticker and then just here on the side. But this one I figured was gonna be mainly for some random ideas on the go. This is just a setup that I have thought out for it. It might change as I start to use it. It becomes more lived in and perhaps I find that some things are less intuitive than I thought they were. This next notebook I am also very excited about. And this is so much cuter than I thought it was gonna be. It matches so well with like the leather color of this journal. Put a little picture of me. I got inspiration from honestly a bunch of videos that I saw on TikTok. My For You page really knows that I was shopping for this. But I just saw a bunch of people do this type of thing and then do like almost like an about page about yourself, your goals, what matters to you, random different things. And it just occurred to me because I love that it just says like comfort and then to your heart's content. This front cover really inspired what I wanted to use this book for because initially I had some other ideas for it, but it quickly became clear that I wanted it to become almost like a manifestation slash commonplace book. It's basically gonna be a notebook that has everything that inspires me, that touches my soul, my spirit, my heart in any way, and that if I look back on it, I will just get re-inspired. And I will write down also like, for instance, my goals for the new year, my intentions. I really want to make it a very personal, like this is me and this is my vision for my life at this stage. I will continue personalizing it. I kind of want to add a ribbon to this. And finally, we have reached the end of this tour, but this is just my 3rd leuchtturm term journal. I was worried it was gonna be like a little too Christmassy with the leather being red and all of that, but honestly, who cares? They match and they go really well. I don't know, I just love these journals. This is gonna be my personal diary, as it has been for the past 3 years that I've used this type of journal. These are very straightforward. You have a table of contents, which at the beginning I didn't even know what to use it for, but as I started to get more into journaling, it actually becomes very handy. Like, if one day you have a really meaningful breakthrough on something, that this has happened to me a few times, when you're going through like a challenging time, but then you overcome it and you get super inspired and you start almost giving yourself like a pep talk, or recognizing like what you went through and documenting your wins. Yeah, just like different stages of your life. It's when you want to look back on those, if you're feeling down, for instance, and you want to hear a pep talk or a really positive entry that you wrote in the past, this actually comes really handy. A title for it, for instance, like December pep talk, milestones I achieved in December, whatever it is, and then you write the page because it's numbered, and then you can just find it really easily. Yeah, it's almost like leaving little messages for your future self. But yeah, let me know if you want me to make like a follow-up video of sorts when I live more into this journal ecosystem that I have made up for myself. Yeah, I can make like a full deep dive on journaling. Let me know if you would want to see that, because it's already taken too much of this video, so I'm just gonna wrap it.